Hello everyone. In the spirit of trying new things, which will be my word for the day, I'm putting together this video to just bring us through a simple warming up phase leading to standing poses, hip openers, upper and lower back, followed by a few twists, and then coming into the more relaxing part of the sequence to cool down and finishing off with 5 minutes Shavasana. So the word of the day is trying new things. This is new for me, setting up videos for yoga, and I think that we might be needing them in light of this whole coronavirus over the next while. So if they're not exactly professional and very streamlined, forgive me. I will do the practice and I will call the poses and I will give some instructions but not all, otherwise it just becomes one long stream of instructions. So I hope you enjoy it and let me know what you think. Let's bring our hands to our hearts, close our eyes, turn in and bring your awareness to your breath. And we'll start with 3 ohms. Exhale, inhale, Om, inhale, Om, inhale, release your hands and come travel with me on our journey of trying out new things. So make your way into down dog. Turn your toes under, lift your hips high. Press down with your hands, squeeze your arms together, grip the floor with your fingertips. Feet can be together or hip width apart. Drop into a place of stillness. And take 5 breaths. And come onto your hands and knees and coming into cat-cow. Exhale, round your back up towards the ceiling, getting as much movement in your spine as you can. And then inhale, lift your head, look up, sink down between your shoulder blades. Press the tops of your feet into the floor, flare your fingers, grip the floor with your fingertips. Exhaling, rounding up. Inhaling, sinking down. And keep that going, body following breath. Do one more full round, exhaling, rounding up and sinking down. And now walk your hands back and come and stand towards the back of your mat. Standing into Tadasana, place your feet firmly on the floor. They can be together or inner hip width apart. Spread your toes. Squeeze your shins, your thighs together. Stretch between your hips and under your armpits. Invite your shoulder blades to come down your back. Move your ears back. Drop into a place of stillness and be with your breath. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, hinge forward Line up your fingernails with your toenails. Look towards your shins. Press the backs of your thighs towards the wall behind you. Allow your head to drop. Bend your knees, inhale, press down, lift your arms overhead, clasp your hands together, interlace your fingers, turn your wrists up. Root down with your feet into the floor, move your arms into the back plane. Draw your lower ribs towards each other. Allow a smile to brighten your eyes this morning or this afternoon, depending on where you are in the day. Inhale, exhale, hinge forward and come into forward fold. Again, line up your fingernails with your toenails. Allow your belly to drop onto your thighs. Begin to press the backs of your knees towards the wall behind. Walk your hands forward in plank, walk your feet back. More doable, squeeze your feet together. More difficult, squeeze your feet together. More doable, keep them apart. Float your shoulders over your wrists. Hollow your armpits, lift your hips a little bit. Lift your head and just gaze straight ahead. Lower your knees to the floor and come all the way down onto your belly, arms by your sides. Bring the side of your face onto the floor and just rest. Inhale, squeeze your legs together. Press your feet into the floor. Inhale, lift your head and shoulders off the floor. Notice your breathing. And bring the other side of your face to the floor and just rest again. Sink down into the floor. Coming into full locust, squeeze your legs together, lift your legs off the floor, lift your arms off the floor, turn your thumbs up, bring your arms closer, invite your shoulder blades to come down your back, notice your breathing. And release the floor once more. Make your way into your hands and knees. And press back into child's pose, sitting back on your heels. Separate your knees, bring your heels together, stretch your arms out. Invite your head to come towards the floor. Come up onto the tips of your fingers. Lift the hollows of your armpits, sinking deeper into the floor. On every inhalation, stretching forward. On every exhalation, sinking down. Inhale, come onto your hands and knees. And step your right foot forward to the outside of your right hand. Bring the right foot towards the outside edge of the mat and turn your back toes under and lift your back leg off the floor.
Hands wide open shoulders and walk them forward. Drop your head, look back towards your back foot and stretch your front knee away from your back heel. Walk your hands back and switch feet. Front foot back, back foot forward, hands shoulder width apart, walk forward, drop your head, look back towards your back toes. Lift the back of your back knee up towards the ceiling. Step your back foot to join your front foot and stand up in Tadasana. Turn and face the camera again. Arms by your sides, close your eyes, turn in. Rooting down firmly with all 4 points of your feet on the floor. Big toe land, inner heel, little toe land, outer heel. And now walk to the back of your mat. We're moving into high lunge. Place your hands on your hips. Step your right foot forward with attitude and intention. Lift the back of your back knee up and sinking down. Torso upright, squeeze your elbows back behind you. Lift your chest, stretch your spine, move your ears back. Notice your breathing. Rooting down into the floor, but keeping it light as well. Keep your pose light, not heavy. And then turning to the back of your mat, left foot forward, all the way around, twirl, lift your back heel off the floor. And again, torso upright, squeeze your elbows back behind you, stretch your front knee away from your back heel, and breathe. And you're going to step your feet together and come and sit down in elevated thunderbolt. So you're coming onto your knees, knees down, turn your toes under, place your hands on your thighs, squeeze your big toes together, your inner ankles, bring your hands as if in prayer, engage your core, allow your shoulder blades to come onto your back. And turn into that place within you that's always there, that place of peace and quiet. So even though we're doing things that are edgy and new, there is always a place where you can drop into that never changes. And just remember that. And release again, and we're making our way into 8 angle pose. Sometimes this can be quite difficult for people to get into initially. Hands wide open shoulders. Move your knees back slightly, turn your toes under. So it's 8-point pose, it's also known as. Toes on the floor, knees on the floor, chest, chin, and hands on the floor. So lowering gently to the floor, chest on the floor, chin on the floor. Then walk your arms back, your forearms are vertical. Press down with your toes into the floor, lift your hips up. Press your chest into the floor, press your chin into the floor, gazing straight ahead. I always joke in class, this is one of our more elegant poses. And slide your legs out behind you. And clasping your hands behind your back, coming into locust hands bound. Stretch your knuckles down towards your heels. Lift your legs off the floor, squeeze your heels together. Lift your head and shoulders off the floor, lift your arms up, move your ears back. Even out your breathing. And release. And come into, come onto your elbows. So cobra on your elbows, squeeze your heels together in your shins. Lift your torso upright, press your elbows into the floor, broaden across your collarbones. And make your way into down dog. Place your hands under your shoulders, turn your toes under, and lift your hips high. Remembering to grip the floor with your fingertips. Remembering to lift your hips, inviting your knees to come towards the floor. And walk your hands back and come into full forward fold. More doable if you step your feet apart, more difficult together. Fingernails in line with toenails. I'll just walk forward so you can see me clearly on the camera. Allow your head to drop. Press your heel of your hands into the floor, begin to straighten your legs. Return to your breath. Taking this opportunity to see what's arising for you out of awareness right now as you turn your whole attention inwards. Now place your hands on your hips, squeeze your elbows back, bend your knees, inhale, press down, stand up. Walk to the back of your mat, and we're going to move into high lunge. So lift your arms up overhead, take a big step forward with attitude and intention with your right foot, and lift your back heel off the floor. Press down equally with both feet into the floor. Engage your core, draw your lower ribs back. Move your arms into the back plane. Stretch your front knee away from your back heel. Lift your gaze. And pivot to the back of the mat. So you turn your right foot in, you turn your left foot out. You lift your back heel off the floor. You bend your front knee. You sink down and lift up again. Allow your arms to come down and step your feet together, moving into tree pose. So, placing your weight equally on both feet, shift your weight onto your left foot. And you may start with placing your foot here, or against your shin, or against your upper inner thigh, whatever is available for you today. Finding your place of balance, bring your hands as if in prayer in front of you, rooting down with the standing foot into the floor, pushing to the heel. Move your knee out to the side and stretch from your hips to under your armpits. Stay here more doable, or lift your arms overhead, press them together, stretch them up. Enjoy the view from the tree. Allow our arms to come down, and we've got two sides to do, so placing our right foot on the floor, we lift our left leg up and place your foot against your upper inner thigh, or as I said before, on your shin or on the floor. Bring your hands as if in prayer, and then lift them overhead.
Press your hands together, root down, stretch up, and lift the sides of your mouth. And release down. Then making our way into side angle pose. I use a block in this, may not be for everyone. So step your feet wide apart on the mat. I like these mats with wee marks on them, and if I'm being a bit lazy, it encourages me to move my feet wider apart. Turn your right foot out, line up your front heel with the middle of your back arch, lift your arms parallel to the floor. Keep that, square your hips, your shoulders towards the long edge of your mat. And then bend your right knee and sink down. Move your right knee out in line with your second toe. And then gaze out over your right arm, hand. And then move forward, place your hand on the block. And lift your top arm up and all the way over the top of your ear. Press the outside edge of your back foot into the floor. Look up towards your palm. Press your elbow into your knee into your elbow. Notice your breathing. Inhale, press down, stand up. Take your block with you. I use blocks, see them as extensions of my limbs. I don't use them all the time, just some days I'm feeling not really, I want to go into that super big stretch, but a useful piece of equipment to have. Place your block, and again you can use it on any height, whichever works for you. So I put it on the lower height just for fun. Lift your arms parallel to the floor. Inhale, bend your front knee, sink down, move your front knee out and line with your second toe. Look out over your left hand arm, and then inhale and place your hand on the block, lift your top arm over the top of your ear, look up at the palm of your hand. Press your knee into your elbow into your knee. Inhale, press down, stand up, take your block with you. Going to move into Trikonasana, turn your left foot in, just as I've done. Turn your right foot out, just as I've done. Place your block, lift your arms parallel to the floor. Inhale, stretch up, exhale, and this time reach forward, look towards the wall, reach forward, and place your hand on the block, lift your top arm up to vertical, or place your hand on the floor, whichever you feel comfortable with. Move your ears back, press the outside edge of your back foot into the floor, engage both quads. Press down, stand up, and bring your block with you. Turn your right foot in, your left foot out, place your block, lift your arms, look out over your left hand arm, reach forward, place your hand on the block, lift your top arm up to vertical. Trikonasana. And press down and stand up. Once more, take your block with you. Turn your left foot in, turn your right foot out. And just place your block slightly off to the side. We don't need it for this pose. I'm going to lift your arms. You're going to move into Warrior Two. Bend your right knee, sink down. Move your front knee out in line with your second toe. Keep your torso upright, so don't lean forward with your torso. Look out over your right hand arm. Sink down. Keep moving your front knee out. Press the outside edge of your back foot into the floor. Back hand arm in line with front hand arm. Just looking back there to check. Warrior Two. Some of these standing poses are amongst the biggest, strongest poses you'll encounter in yoga. And they engage all the muscle groups. Press down, stand up, turn your right foot in, turn your left foot out, bend your front knee, sink down, move the knee out in line with the second toe, look out over left hand arm, engage your quads, Engage your biceps in your arms, sink down even more if it's available to you. And press down and stand up. I'm moving into a half moon, so we take our block again, or you can just place your hand on the floor and standing halfway back on your mat. Lift your right arm up by your ear. Step forward with your right foot. Bend your right knee. Lean forward. Place your hand on the block, simultaneously lifting your back leg off the floor. Keeping that, lift your top arm up to vertical. Roll the outside edge of your back foot up towards the ceiling. And gradually walk your eyes along the floor and look straight ahead. Press down and stand up. And repeat again on the other side. Left arm up. Step forward. Bend your knee. Lean forward. Place your hand on the block. Lift your back leg up behind you. Lift your top arm up to vertical. And release and come down. And put your block off to one side. And we're moving into parables. So standing with your feet hip width apart, lift your arms up, hands shoulder width apart, bend your knees, sink down, gaze straight ahead. Pushing into your ankles. Inhale, press down, stand up, and moving into Warrior 3. We're going to use 2 blocks for this. So place your blocks, and you can put them at any height. I'm just working on that height there for now. Lift your arms up, step forward with your right foot, lean forward, place your hands on the blocks, lift your back leg up behind you, flex and point it. Inhale and release down. And walking back, lift your arms up. Step forward with your left foot. Lean forward. Bend your knee. Place your hand on the block. And lift your right leg up behind you. Gazing straight ahead. Stretch between your armpits and your hips. Lower that leg and move your blocks off to one side. And moving into reverse Trikonasana, and you may use a block again. Step your right foot forward. Step your left foot forward, I should say. Press your back foot into the floor. Lift your right arm up by your ear. Place your left hand on your hip. Inhale, cross your body. And either place your hand on the floor or on a block. And the block is on the little toe side of your front foot. Keeping that, lift your top arm up to vertical. And press down and stand up and switch over onto the other side. So I'm going to just do this end so that you can see what I'm doing. Straight, because I realised my head was out of that shot. Stretch your right leg forward, place your block on the floor. Lift your left arm up, cross your body, place it on the little toe side, your hand on the little toe side of your right foot. Lift your right arm up. Revolve Trikonasana. Turn your sit bones up. Draw your right hip back, your left hip forward. Notice every sensation that is arising. And press down and stand up. I'll put the blocks off to one side once more, and moving into down dog. I'm just going to go this way. Lift your hips up, hands wide on shoulders. Externally rotate your upper arms, which is turning the soft fleshy bits of your elbows towards the front of the mat, the short end of the mat. Look and point between your thumbs. Grip the floor with your fingertips. Lift your hips even higher. Notice breathing. Engage your quads. And lower down onto your hands and knees and step your right foot forward. Look, see where we're going here. Okay. So placing your forearm lunge, placing your forearms on the floor, clasp your hands together in front of you and lift your head and look up. If this is not available for you, with your elbows, what you can do is use blocks and place your elbows on blocks like so. If it's still too low for you, you can also just place your hands on the floor. So yogi's choice, whatever works. And then stretch your front knee away from your back heel and press the back of your knee and the back of your top foot into the floor. Lift your knee off the floor and gaze out to the end of the mat. And switch legs. Front foot back, back foot forward. And I'm going to work to this end of the mat so you can see. So left foot forward this time. And lowering down onto my elbows again, and then I'm lifting the back knee off the floor and breathing. Or keep it on the floor, more doable. Allow your knee to come down. Move your right hand out to the side of your mat. Lift your left arm up. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest up, look up. Lift the sides of your mouth. And switch legs. So your left foot comes back, your right foot comes forward. You place your left hand on the edge of your mat, or on the outside of your mat indeed, and lift your right arm up. And release that hand to the floor. And now coming all the way down into Cobra. So place your hands were far enough back so that your forearms are vertical, which you can see. Squeeze your heels together, coming through the gateway of your arms. Press the tops of your feet into the floor, flare your toes. Inhale, lift your head and shoulders off the floor. Broaden across your collarbones. Squeeze inner heels, inner shins, inner thighs towards each other. Tighten your glutes, engage your core. Move your ears back. And release. And coming into side plank with one foot forward. So make your way to down dog. And pivot to your right. Taking your weight on your right hand, lift your left foot halfway up the front of your mat. Lift your top arm up to vertical. Look up. And switch through and over onto the other side. Pivot your ankles to the left. Come onto the edge, outside the edge of your left foot. Lift your right foot halfway up the front of the mat. Lift your top arm up to vertical. Move your ears back and enjoy. down, and we're moving into arctic pose. Stretch your both legs out in front of you. Nice to be sitting down for a little bit. And bend your left knee, clasp your left foot with both hands, and draw your knee back, shin parallel to the ceiling. Be as upright as possible. You can flex and point your toes, or push your heel away from you, draw your toes back, press the top of your right thigh into the floor. And release, and switch over onto the other side. Catch your right foot, draw the knee back, shin upright, shin parallel to the ceiling. Be as upright as possible. Press your sit bones into the floor. And now, holding your foot with the opposite hand, take your first two fingers of your right hand and place it between your big toe and the second toe. Place your left hand on the floor. Either stay here, more doable, or stretch your right leg out to the side. Straighten your spine, broaden across your collarbones. Draw your leg towards you if your leg is straight. And release, and switch over onto the other side. So clasp the left foot with both hands, draw the shin back, hold it with the opposite hand, and lift your left hand, like those two fingers like that, and wrap it around the front toe and stretch your leg out. Move your left leg out to the side, or indeed, if it's not available, just keep your knee bent, be as upright as possible. And release. Now we're going to move into crooked sage. So across, again, clasp your right foot, shin parallel to the ceiling, lift your right arm up, place it between your legs. This may be as far as you go today, because sometimes our hips are not open enough to allow us to get into this pose, but you're just practicing there, even if you have to hold on to your foot. Or lean back slightly, lift the left leg, cross it over the right, squeeze your knees together, and then what you're going to do is you're going to lean forward onto your hip, like that. That's where we're going. We're not even lifting off today. Squeeze ankles together, knees together, hands in line with each other, chest to the floor. Inhale, come back up, and repeat on the other side. So stretch your left leg out, clasp it, draw it back, lift your left arm up, bring it between your legs, and float your, moving into cosmic abs. Shift your weight onto your right foot and bring your arms out to the left. Start to bicycle your arms up and down, start to bicycle your knees up and down. Keep your knees together and bring your knees close in and out to your chest, and move your upper body like you're a dancer, a belly dancer, yeah? So you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and switch over onto the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then switch over onto the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then switch over onto the other side. Great hip opener, a great quad worker, a great core worker, and release. Moving into leg lifts. Come and lie down. Clasp your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers. And you can still see me. Bring your elbows into the side of your chest or into the side of your head. Bend your knees, bring your knees into your chest. Inhale, stretch your legs up towards the ceiling, head and shoulders off the floor. Exhale, inhale, lower your legs to the floor. And exhale and bring them back up. And keep that going. See if you can do 2 sets of 5. You're endeavouring to bring your knees as close to your elbows as you can. And just remember, if you have a sore back,
Do it with one leg at a time, like this. Or with your knees bent. So whatever works for you today. And release. And moving into bridge pose. Place your feet hip width apart, arms by your sides, shoulders together down your back. Line up the root of your second toe with the middle of your ankle, then press down with your feet into the floor, lift your hips up, walk your arms underneath and shrug your shoulders from side to side. Keep that, stretch your knuckles down towards your heels, even walk your heels even further back. Press with your heels into the floor, lift your chin out of your chest, and just floating up. I always kid people in class, imagine a little fire under your hips, and you have to move your hips as far away from that fire as you can. It brings people up another couple of inches at least. And release and come down. And moving into thread the needle. Still keeping your knees bent with your feet on the floor in front of your hips. Lift your right foot and place the outside edge across your left knee. Stay here, more doable, more difficult. Lift your left knee and bring your left knee into your chest. Slide your hands between your legs and clasp your shin. Sometimes this is not available for people. You can also clasp your thigh, whatever is easiest for you. Then make both feet active. That means, what does that mean? It means push your heel away, draw your toes back, press your lower back into the floor, invite your shoulder blades to come onto your back, lift your chin out of your chest, and return to your breathing. And now repeat all over again on the other side. Lift the leg, place it, and lift the knee and bring it into your chest. And release and come and sit up in child's pose. Sorry, not sit up, kneel up and sit back on your heels. So you're sitting back on your heels and your knees are wide apart. That's the more easy way of doing it. Or you can bring your knees together if it's no problem to you. And then stretch your arms out. Make both arms active, come up onto the tops of your fingers. And walk your arms around to the left, hands shoulder width apart. And then creep from all the way around to the other side and sink down. Inhale and come back up. I'm coming into tremulos, so let's try this. Take your blocks. My arm's not long enough for me. me to do this without blocks. And what you're doing is you're crossing your right, I'm going to turn around so you can see what I'm doing. You're crossing your right ankle over your left ankle like that, and you're sitting back on your heels. Yeah? Okay, so do that. Cross your right ankle over your left ankle, sit back on your heels. And place your blocks, or you can use your hands on the floor if you have no blocks with you today. Yeah? Okay? So, place your hands on the blocks. Then I'm going to use this height because I'm feeling less than energetic. And press down with your hands into the floor and lift your hips up. And see if you can lift your feet off the floor and count 5. And release. That's a big lift. And switch over onto the other side. So cross your ankles, your left over your right this time. Sit down on your heels. Super glue your heels to your hips. Keeping that. Press down with your hands into the floor. Straighten your arms and lift your hips up. I'm glad that's over. It's called tremulosa. Bend your knees and sit on your hips, on your right hip. And place the top of your left foot so it's bisecting the sole of the right foot. I'm just going to move these blocks out of the way so you can see what we're doing. Keep that. Place your right hand on your left knee and place your left hand behind you. Sometimes I put my hand on the block, gives me a little bit of leverage. And look out over your front shoulder. Keep drawing your left shoulder back, your left ribs back. Stretch your spine up. And drop into a place of ease, even though it's quite a twist you're in. And let's switch over onto the other side. So switch from your right hip over onto your left hip and place your right foot so it bisects the arch of the left foot. And then bring your right hand to your, it would be your left knee, and place your left hand on the floor behind you. And then lift your chest, stretch your spine, draw your left shoulder back, your left ribs back, and look out over your right shoulder. And release. And come and coming into band angle pose. Bring the soles of your feet together in front of you and clasp your ankles. And be as upright as possible. Lift your chest, stretch your spine, draw your ankles back behind you. Press the soles of your feet in together. Engage your core, broaden across your collarbones. And release. And then moving into head to knee pose, also known as Shirshasana. Stretch your right leg out. And allow your foot to come close to your thigh, but at least a fist width of distance between the sole of your foot and your thigh. Turn out over your right leg, lift your arms up, inhale, exhale, hinging forward. You can also use a strap here if this is not available to you. Gaze beyond your toes, soften your elbows. Inhale, stretch forward. Exhale, sinking down. Press the back of your thigh into the floor. Press the back of your shin into the floor. Engage your quad. Inhale, stretch forward. Exhale, sink down. Breath by breath, be in the pose. Inhale, come back up. And switch over onto the other side. Bend your right knee, stretch your left leg out to the side. You can roll your left thigh in towards the floor and draw your left buttock back. Lift your arms up, inhale, exhale, hinge forward, and reaching towards your left leg. Press the back of your left thigh into the floor. Inhale, stretch forward, exhale, sinking down. And inhale and come all the way back up. And then come into a wide leg forward fold. So stretch out both legs Sometimes this is easier if you have a block, not this kind of a block, more spongy block, and you sit up on it because it gives you a bit of space like that and enables you to hinge forward more easily. Also, we're coming on to our elbows here. Some of you, this may not be an option at all for you, but what could be is you use your blocks and you place your elbows on the block like so, like this, or if like me, if you don't need it at all, just come all the way down. Press the backs of your thighs into the floor, and you're gazing, lift my gaze out beyond me. It's not here, because if I hit down here, I'm rounding my shoulders. So press down the elbows into the floor, press the backs of the thighs into the floor, engage the quads, flare your toes, hinging forward from your hip flexors here. And inhale and come back up. And coming into fish pose. Cross your right leg over your left leg. Yeah. And bend your knee. And then bend your left leg underneath. So you're sitting like this. Now the sole of your right foot is on the floor. Yeah. Place your right hand on the floor behind you. Lift your left arm up. Cross your body. Bring the elbow to the outside of your knee. Press elbow to knee, knee into elbow. Draw your right shoulder back, your right ribs back, and look back over your back shoulder. Keep pressing elbow into knee, knee into elbow. Press your sit bones down, stretch your spine up. And release. I'm going to switch over onto the other side. So cross your left leg over your right leg. Place the sole of the left foot on the floor. Place your left hand on the floor behind you. Lift your right arm up. Cross your body, bringing the elbow to the outside of the knee. Press elbow to knee, knee into elbow. Draw left shoulder back. Look back over your left shoulder. Broaden across your collarbones. Press your sit bones down, stretch your spine up. And release. And moving into east stretch. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Place your hands behind you. Turn your hands out 45 degrees. Separate your fingers. Press down your feet into the floor. Lift your chest up. Press your knees into the floor. Engage your core. Lift your shoulders up. And this is a pose I often get cramping my toes in, even though I've been doing it for many years, and it's there, I've got a cramp there today. So something to worry about if that happens to you. It's perfectly normal. We're using muscles that we don't normally use, and we're beginning to make them work for us. And then moving into staff pose, but this time with your hands behind your back. So turn your fingers to face towards your feet, and separate your hands slightly wider than your shoulders. And walk them back 15 or 20 centimetres. Lift your chest, stretch your spine, broaden across your collarbones. Press your sit bones into the floor. Lift your gaze. And release. And coming into west stretch, bend your knees. Separate your feet sort of hip width apart. And clasp the outside edges of your feet with your hands. You can still see me. And then walk your feet forward. Be as upright as possible, but keeping a bend in your knees. Make your feet active. And release. And then we're moving into double diamond. So lie on your back, bend your knees, place your heels in front of your hips. Make goalposts of your arms, so line your arms on the floor and bend them at the elbows, point your palms up towards the ceiling. Allow your knees to come down towards the left. And then lift your head off off the floor and turn your head to the right and place it back on the floor so you're looking away from your knees. And then just allow gravity to take you down. You're sinking into the floor. Inhale, come back up. And allow your knees to come down on the other side. And lift your head off the floor, turn it, look away from your knees, place your head back on the floor and just sink down. And allow your arms to come down and stretch your legs out and curl your right leg in. A reclined leg pose and stretch your right leg up. Push your heel up towards the ceiling, draw the leg towards you. Invite your shoulder blades to come onto your back. Press the back of the left thigh into the floor. And drop into a place of stillness. So this is a push-pull action. You're drawing the leg towards you. At the same time you're pushing it away from you. At the same time you're pushing your heel up towards the ceiling. And release and come down and switch over onto the other side. Stretch your left leg up, push up, draw it towards you, press the back of the other one into the floor. And release, and coming into our final pose for today, which is reclined child's pose. Lift your knees and bring your knees into your chest and just rolling gently from side to side. And feeling how good that feels after the end of this practice today. And the last 5 minutes of this practice will come into relaxation or shavasana. So I'm going to close out this practice with a couple of words, and I do urge you to take your relaxation and make the time for your 5 minutes. I'm sure you don't want to look at me for 5 minutes in relaxation. So inhale and come and sit up, and I'll close this practice, and you can drop into your shavasana afterwards. So bring your hands together. Close your eyes and turning in one last time to honour ourselves, each other, the practice, and the new things that come along with changing our lives all the time. I really enjoyed doing this today. My confidence started to grow as I kept moving through it. I hope it turns out okay. I hope it lands with you okay. And I look forward to doing more of these in the future. So take on the challenges in your life, whatever they are, and for whatever reasons we need to do them. So we close the one. Exhale, inhale.